since 93 Sports back with another one. So I'm hearing a lot of talk about this Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence. It could be a big fight in Texas. When I first heard about it, I just thought it was, tactics by Mikey Garcia to keep his name swirling in the media, have his name attached to uh, a guy who's, basically on fire in boxing, you know, and now, the more I hear him talk about it, it seems like he's actually serious. He actually thinks that, you know, technically he feels like Errol Spence is sweet. Okay. Um, he's describing not wanting to fight Terrence Crawford because he's a dull fighter. He's gonna run. He's not gonna face him coming forward. Basically, code for this guy's too skilled and I can't beat him. Okay, Terrence Crawford already beat him in the amateurs. I know you can't really use that because I'm sure he's grown a lot since he was an amateur, but it's something about Terrence Crawford that he feels like his style does not match up with him. Even though Terrence Crawford is closer to his size, he's not as devastating of a puncher as Errol Spence. He's the kind of guy that he could destroy Mikey Garcia, but more than likely he's gonna give him a boxing lesson, and it's gonna be more embarrassing than more than anything. It's not gonna be a fight to where it's a life and death fight to where he just takes years and years off of his career, and he's never the same afterwards. I don't see a fight with Terrence Crawford bringing that. Now it could, but I just don't see it. I don't see it being a kind of fight where he's never the same afterwards. Okay. Now Errol Spence, on the other hand, he's way bigger than you. Okay. And he hits hard and he got a crazy work rate. Okay, so he's gonna wear your ass down, and that ring's gonna start feeling smaller and smaller. Okay, and especially if you can't get Errol Spence's respect, he and I don't see Mikey Garcia being able to get Errol Spence's respect. So Errol Spence just gonna keep coming forward all night. He might have success for maybe 3-4 rounds, and people are gonna say, oh, look at these 3-4 rounds where he's successful, even though Errol Spence ends up breaking him down, into submission. And in these kind of fights, these are the kind of fights to where, you're never the same afterwards. We seen the Meldrick Taylor versus Julio Cesar Chavez, even though, with the controversial ending, win, lose, or draw, Meldrick Taylor wasn't going to be the same after that fight. Okay. And I see this being that kind of a fight for Mikey Garcia. I don't see him being the same after this fight. And this could be one of those fights to where you look back on Mikey Garcia's career and you say, damn, this is the fight, to where his career started going downhill. He starts getting, knocked out by guys who, years before he would have toyed with. Okay, so he really needs to think about this. I was looking back on his brother's career, Robert Garcia, man, and he should know because he wasn't never the same after he went up against Diego Corrales, and Corrales just beat the hell out of him. So hopefully his brother's talking some sense into him. I know he's looking to for these big money fights. He's not gonna be around for that long. He's trying to make as much money right now as possible so he can get out at a young age. And hey man, going up to 147 too quick, man. I don't see it ending well, man. I don't. And I remember a lot of people talk about how Roy Jones Jr., when he moved up to heavyweight and tried to come back down, he was never the same. And that's when we started seeing Roy Jones getting knocked out left and right. And, a lot of people say he was never the same fighter after that. So, hey, man, he better choose his fights wisely. He got a lot of fights down at those lower weights, that can be made. He could fight the winner of Lomachenko Linares. he could go down there and show some balls and fight Robert Easter, you know. And then 140's heating up. He could, fight some of these guys that's getting these vacant straps. It's a lot of options for him and a lot of unfinished business down where he's at right now instead of worrying about Errol Spence. And Errol Spence, man, he should feel he should feel slighted, by hearing Garcia talk about this. A guy from a lower weight, talking like he could come up there and fuck with you. So I know there's a lot of people saying that they don't want to see this fight, but hey, man, if Errol Spence ain't doing nothing, nobody wants to fight this guy, and Mikey Garcia is for real about coming up there and facing him, hey, man, shit, if he want to come up there and get his career ended, then let him do it. He's already insulting the man by, saying that he could, go up there and whoop him basically and have a good chance, actually having a competitive fight with them. So, go ahead and go up there and do it, man. They gonna fuck around and be looking at Errol Spence like the new Felix Trinidad, because Felix Trinidad, man, he done, now I ain't gonna say like everybody, but I just think about how what's the guy's name? What's that? Fernando Vargas. I think about Fernando Vargas and I think about David Reed. He was just fucking people up, and they was never the same afterwards. And I'm sure it's other fighters that were never the same after Felix Trinidad faced them, but them's the two guys that I think about off the top of my head, man. So hey, man, he gonna take some years off if he go up there playing around with Errol Spence, man. That dude got a high motor. He hits hard. He's way bigger than you. And hey, man, it ain't that easy. Ask Kell Brook. But that's my thoughts, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified when all my latest content drops. And I'm out.